Hello, hello, hello. Erica Greif here with another installment of Becoming Luminous Women. Today I want to talk a little bit about boundaries and give you some context around the why and the how of boundaries and a little bit of insight into why so many of us live our lives without them and why we get to a point where we realize we need them and don't have them. It's a big conversation, but we're just going to have a small little opening conversation. And I hope to be giving you a little bit of information throughout the month of October. So with that, go ahead and allow yourself to just carve out a little bit of time here. I promise this will not be a long conversation. So allow yourself to come into a nice quiet space. You are carving out this time for yourself to come into circle with your sisters. See yourself around the fire, allowing yourself to take your seat at the circle, knowing that you are held in sacred space here, and the grandmothers are here tending our fire. Taking a nice deep breath, allowing yourself to just come into circle here. This is your time for you. Let's drink this in. So for a very long time, I had no idea what boundaries were, nor why I needed them. And this is not a new story by any means. There are so many women, young women and older women, who have been bankrupt to the gift of boundaries. Okay, how does this start? Well, our society, at least the old paradigm that our society is breaking away from, does not like it when a woman has her own power and stands in it with authority. We know this from how we treat our little girls with, they need to be obedient and they need to be sweet and kind and pretty. But God forbid they say no or have a temper tantrum. Then they're just bitches or they're bossy. And this is into the teenage years, where when a young lady starts to use her voice to say no, it's often met, especially by society and sometimes by parents, with a negative result. In some way, teaching her that it's not okay for her to say no. That in fact, she needs to be what other people expect of her rather than what it is that she feels is appropriate for her. So what happens, and we know this, that when a young woman does not listen to her internal instincts, that she has followed the party line of, towed the party line of society where women are just supposed to be beautiful and entertaining and sexy, but God forbid they have their own thoughts, they have their own opinion on how they want to be upheld and respected, that's shunned upon. And so young women start to feel that it is wrong for them to say no when their instincts say no. They don't want to be rude. They don't want to be bossy. So in many situations, young women will have an internal cue that says, leave, get out, don't, this is not appropriate, that person's not allowed to treat you that way, but they keep their mouth shut. They don't take the action that they need, and they just continue to be the good girl. The good girl syndrome is killing women. It is a silent killer. The good girl syndrome makes us internalize the abuses that we are offered, small and large. And when we teach our young women, or if as we get older and come into more of our own power, we don't choose to say, you know what, I made a decision in the past where I was going to take this bullshit, but I'm no longer going to take it. If we don't allow ourselves to make that bridge, then we are doing ourselves, our society, the sacred feminine, our daughters, our granddaughters, a huge, huge service. We know that the old paradigm that we are breaking out of, the masculine, war-centric mentality, it's a game to them. Fighting is a game. Fighting is for winning and losing. And if women do not uphold their own boundaries and say what it is that comes to them very naturally, which is the understanding that life is to be protected and nurtured, empowered and initiated into its greatest wholeness. If we do not rise up with our voices, our choices, we do not have the boundaries, we do not choose to have the boundaries that we need to be able to uphold our own truth, well then this paradigm that is crumbling will just continue to crumble and will leave us in complete chaos. Whereas just as the phoenix needs to rise from the ashes, that is the sacred feminine. And that is what we are building in upholding our own boundaries. So let's talk about honor. Upholding our own boundaries is upholding our honor. Many women do not know about boundaries or have the ability to use their own boundaries because of this place in society where women are not allowed to get angry. It's not justifiable. It's dismissed as that time of the month. And the validity of our anger, the validity of our voices and of our force becomes dissolved and dismissed. Our boundaries are actually upheld by our anger, our healthy anger, our healthy ability to say no when we mean no, and to not fight for it, but to stand in the power of it and allow the power of that to reinforce the energy in which we walk with, in which we are. Boundaries take time to create. Allowing ourselves to be angry with honor takes time to allow. But this is the time. It is now time to allow yourself to learn that you are allowed to be pissed as hell. And that anger, that force within you is your own power to use and to use well. It is not to be used against yourself nor anyone else. It's to be used for your own boundaries to uphold your own honor. I noticed that the reason why I carried around such rage inside of me for years and years was there was a very, very real dishonoring that I felt continued to happen as a young lady, just in society as well as my family, as a young lady who was sexually abused, and as a woman in life, just being dismissed every month for being angry. And so the honor that we continue to try to uphold continues to be dishonored. And so it is our job to choose to use the power within us, to use our voices, to use our anger to uphold our own honor. And that is what creates healthy boundaries for ourselves. So what's next? How do we create this for ourselves if this is not something that we learned in early on as a maiden or even as mothers? Now is the time to learn. I have a workshop coming up October 22nd at Yoga Peace Kula in Belmar. I invite you there, 12:15 to 2. You can register on my website, becomingluMinousWomen.com, or you can go to Yoga Peace Kula and register there as well. In this workshop, we will uncover the places where your honor, your boundaries have been hammered out of you, and unlock that place where they have been kept, and give them the honorable space and voice that they need to have, and give you real tools for allowing them to develop. Uncovering boundaries for myself has changed my life. It has given me my voice. It has given me my force. And it has clarified my vision and my purpose here on the planet. I welcome you. I hope that you will continue to walk in this space of revealing and reclaiming your own feminine honor. Because you doing it individually is you doing it collectively. And if we all do our part individually to heal this wound for ourselves, then we will all be upholding generations past, present, and future. And we will become the phoenix rising from the ashes. And with that, dear sisters, nice and short and sweet, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for delving into this quickly with me. I would ask you to journal about this. Take this into your meditation. Take this into your prayer. Take this into your yoga. Take this into your quiet time. And find where this is true. Find the voice that wants to say no. And allow her to. Full moon harvest blessings to you. I thank you for gathering around the fire again. And with that, I say aho.